who said, I think it's mine, right? It's my son. He loves Barack Obama. And once he got so angry at me, he said, "Are you the boss of God? You are the boss of God? Nobody's the boss of God, not me, not you. Are the angels the boss of God? Are you more famous than angels? God is the boss of himself, orders himself to do what he wants. I am the boss of this poem. I wrote it." I told him to come. Subject to song. Out of the crooked timber of humanity, no straight thing was ever made. Kant. I just heard that Schopenhauer wanted to translate him, which would have been a much better book. He's just a terrible writer. So this is about my son. I was just looking at his room. Out of the pills and the pencils, out of toothbrushes and night guards, out of CDs and Altoids, out of feathers and staplers, out of time clocks and syllabi, out of tissues and scissors, nothing straight has ever been made. Out of computers and mouse pads, out of CDs and CD-ROMs, out of pens and sedentary mentalisms, out of philosophers and lampshades, out of pennies and a penis, out of calculators and prescription pills, out of envelopes and white envelopes, out of industrial shelving in the moonlight, nothing straight has ever been made. Out of Venetian blinds and dream catchers, out of dreams of Lichtenberg and the desire of art history, out of war and branches, out of shadows of my fingers in your hand, out of your riveting nipples and her weightless eyes, out of rockets and buttons, out of the number 5, and out of a red rhino, out of mustaches and Mona Lisas, out of black numbers, nothing straight has ever been made. Out of colored sand and autumnal trophies, out of chaos and beds, out of a crooked woman and the straight edge of a crystal, out of jade and dust, out of mankind's poor penis and the archaic song of sacrifice, out of Pluto, Medea, and Goofy, out of black boots and Van Gogh's shoes, out of a battered self-portraiture, nothing straight has ever been made. Out of baseballs and dresser drawers, out of blue jays and imitation, out of snow inside worlds and the universe in a walnut, out of no place and the best place, out of an image of hope and the abjection of jargon, out of sheaths and blossoming antennae on the day without adjectives, out of the absolutely necessary meeting of the girl and the swan, bestial for the swan, nothing entirely straight has ever been made. Out of words, out of dictionaries and guesses, out of the contingent letter and the space between letters, out of the tongue and the T, nothing straight has ever been built. Out of the forest, the someone covers me, out of the desire and the strangled globe, out of the forced marriage of the feather, the pen, and the eraser fluid, out of shadows of light, out of the almost invisible sheath and the dream of tactility, out of the swan and the sign, out of the dream and the game and the impossible, on the day of the permanent flaw with the heat of it, nothing entirely straight was ever made. I'll read since